This is Balance of Power on Bloomberg Television and Radio. I'm David Weston. Well, franchisors and franchisees alike have been really hit hard by the coronavirus. And when it comes to franchises, nobody knows the issues better than Catherine Monson. She is the chair of the International Franchise Association. So, Catherine, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, give us your sense right now. What are the particular issues that franchisees and franchisors, for that matter, are facing?
Well, the biggest challenges are that the majority of our franchisors and franchisees are not deemed essential businesses. So think about gyms and childcare and hair salons. I mean, they have zero revenue. And then for our members who are deemed essential businesses, even as FASTSIGNS International is, our FASTSIGNS franchisees are seeing declines in sales in the U.S. of about 45%, because the only thing they're selling are COVID-19 safety signs and other materials to keep social distancing information out there, et cetera. So from going to robust sales to whether it's down 45% for FASTSIGNS or whether it's zero because you're in a non-essential business, I mean, that is challenging for any small business.
You talk with an awful lot of these franchisees and franchisors. Do you have a sense that a fair amount of the first $349 billion in the PPP program, or for that matter, the next tranche of $370 billion, is it making it where it needs to go?
You know, really concerning. A recent survey by the International Franchise Association showed only 11% of small franchisees actually received any PPP approval or funds. I know that a very small handful, about 5% of my FASTSIGNS franchisees received those funds during the first round. And I know from yesterday that the SBA portal crashed multiple times. So I've only heard from 3 or 4 of my franchisees since they opened the portal yesterday that got funding. So deeply concerned. One, if you think about it, there are 30 million small businesses in the U.S. About 15 million of those have employees. I mean, there's just no way where there are only 1.6 million loans given out in tranche 1 that we're even, that we're helping the majority. We just aren't yet. We need to keep those PP funds coming, because I think there needs to be a third tranche and a fourth tranche, because this pandemic is hurting so many small businesses.
Yeah, at the same time, we see issues arise with respect to, for example, bearing the costs of taking precautions for customers. We saw the McDonald's situation where there seems to be a dispute between McDonald's and the franchisees. Is that unique to McDonald's, or are there issues throughout the franchise community about who's going to bear the costs of increasing monitoring and cleanliness and hygiene in these facilities?
Well, the first thing I want to say is, I'm not involved with McDonald's, and I don't know the specifics, but I know that this pandemic is stressful. It's more than stressful. It's stressful times 10,000, and that makes people very, very concerned. They're scared. They're terrified. They don't know what to do. Now, I'll tell you, from a FASTSIGNS standpoint, we've been providing amazing support to our franchisees. We've deferred royalties, 50% deferral now for 4 months, as we try to help our franchisees deal with this cash flow challenge. And we're also doing everything we can to help them, whether it's creating artwork for social distancing signages and teaching them how to make sneeze guards and other safety barriers, and propagating artwork for face shields and things like that. I mean, we have franchisees today that have taken the equipment that they use to cut plastic for signs, and they're making face shields and intubation boxes and intubation shields and safety shields, keeping health workers and other essential workers safe. So I think the International Franchise Association has a lot of resources to help franchisors and franchisees in all aspects of business operation, including great franchisor-franchisee relationships, but I can't speak specifically to McDonald's.
What about Congress and the role it's played thus far? Because there are reports that actually there have been some specific accommodations made for some franchise operations. Do you feel that you have the ear of Congress?
Well, I think Congress is listening to a lot of folks. I mean, we have a lot of people that are speaking to their senators and to their House members. I know that we are speaking frequently with members of Congress and also the administration, but I also know that conflicting voices are as well. You know, one thing that makes sense to me is that business interruption insurance, which so many businesses have paid for faithfully month after month after month. I realize that viruses are excluded, but that could be a mechanism that Congress could backstop for the insurance companies. To me, there's just logical stuff like that. But when we've advanced that idea, it hasn't yet taken on. I know there are a lot of different constituents all speaking at the same time.
Yeah, it's interesting. I talked actually from somebody from the insurance side of that yesterday on that very issue. And of course, the insurance people that I talked to at least are very much opposed to that. They say that it really doesn't work because the potential liability could be limitless when you shut down the entire economy, that it could be really disruptive of the insurance business. What do you say to that?
Well, I hear what they're saying, but you know, if the U.S. government were to say this is a backstop, we're going to cover those losses from the insurance companies. We're going to do this for a 90-day period only. I mean, there are ways to utilize. I mean, the insurance companies have the mechanism for handling those claims. I understand that viruses are excluded. I get that. But we're trying to find creative ways for the federal government to help small businesses, help all businesses, and every business has been affected.
Okay, Catherine, really appreciate your being with us today. That's Catherine Monson. She is chair of the International Franchise Association. In the meantime, the FOMC is having their first day of two-day meetings today with an announcement coming tomorrow. We're going to talk with our colleague Michael McKee about what we should expect and also about the interview I'm going to have with Alan Greenspan, former chair of the Federal Reserve. That's coming up at 1 o'clock on the second hour of Balance of Power.